So this is the Remembrance Rock, and I think the voices are supposed to start talking, but they won't. Come on now. But yeah, this is everything you're supposed to collect for it. Alright, so let me do a small bit of reading, and I'll be sure to talk nice and slow for all this. I didn't sign up for this. Well, it's my recording. Do what I want. Alright. I've wandered lost in this darnable maze for what must be a year now, yet I've found no hope of escape. At times, a voice unknown to me seems to be resound in the back of my mind, but my own daily fight for survival has left me with scant energy for pondering such mysteries. From here on out, I shall strive to make a record of my journeys. If only in brief, perhaps a journey of my thoughts might bring some small comfort to me, or to any of those who would follow. I cannot pronounce that name. I have encountered many fellow wanderers in this queer place. There are many endeavors for which I would entreat their aid. Yet, as any attempt to join my cause with theirs has been futile, the others are often preoccupied with matters of their own. Some regard me with hostility, while others slink away with nary a word. Indeed, many seem to have parted ways with their own reason. Perhaps it's to be expected in those in such harsh environments. But with each rejection, my pangs of solitude take a sharper edge. He lashed out at me like a wounded animal, malice clear in his bloodshot eyes. I finally managed to calm him, somehow, and he told me his tale. He spoke of losing his heart to a dragon, so that he may avenge himself against the noble responsible for his daughter's death. But when I suggested a union, he would not hear of it. Instead, he vanished back into the labyrinth's depth from which he came. I have not seen him since. A woman of scant few years. She said she was arisen too, and in search of armaments from some prophecy of legend. She had a composure far beyond her years, and her manner gave me hope of fellowship, but she also refused my invitation flatly, calling the duty of hers to achieve alone. Maybe she had some fear of me. She too. I have not seen or heard since. Perhaps she found the item she sought, or perhaps something else found her first. All the folks I have met in this labyrinth, without exception, are acquainted of the dragon. They are all arisen. It's curious indeed to meet so many with a destiny like my own. Have we all been led here? Who would design or gain from us? Such a ruse. What could await us at its end? Questions I must ponder for another day. I mustn't let it distract me from the task I have sworn to complete. I am weary from toil and impatience, both, and still the whispers continue. I had steeled myself for a hard journey, but never did I anticipate an ordeal such as this. One might think I'd grown accustomed to the isolation, having long since lost my attendant pawn, but it only grows harder to bear. There are riftstones here, but they are all broken, and I shouldn't expect to see them mended. Now my only companion is the strange voice. That voice, it speaks within me, growing louder by the day, frustrating any attempt to ignore it. Even keeping hold of my own thoughts has become a struggle. Is this some omen of impending death? Clearly it is not the voice of my dragon steward. Its monologue is incessant, its words clear and crisp. I cannot grasp their meaning. Perhaps strangest of all now is how little I'm bothered to hear of it lately. Could this voice be attempting to instruct me to proceed? Might it enlighten me about the darkness which I've been sealed? But I must not forget, I have a duty to perform. A duty? But what? It's impossible to gather my thoughts. What was the duty I pledged myself to. What was it that I once believed? We'll record it here in case I should ever forget again. I am arisen. It's my duty and sworn to bring everlasting peace to my homeland by making an offering of untainted souls. 1,000 human sacrifices. But as of yet I have fallen short of my obligation. I swear again I will honor my promise to the dragon and receive its boon. I will locate and deliver the souls required, even in the depths of this dark place. I had only to listen. What was once only a fog is now spring, day to my eyes. What was once only noise, now as song to my ears. It whispers the answers before I need, even asks questions. I must continue the sacrifices, and so come the arisen to this place, like salmon down a great dark stream. They ate not in life, but in death, their blood fulfilling my promise and my duty. I had only to listen.
To serve her master and be as she commands, to be shaped in her image, that is the part of a pawn. But my master's image is no longer her own. Defeated by the world's steward, she fell into perdition. Having witnessed her fail to achieve her purpose, my breast was filled with regret. Yet amid that darkness, a spark of light too took root. Within my soul, a crude and inchoate mirror to the Arisen's own, new strength emerged. I had awoken to love. I came to notice the changes within me as his tireless ministration saw my shattered memories slowly mend. I came to love him, as my master had before me. Then some years later, fate came on dragon's wings to mark him an arisen, as his master was before him. Though his heart was lost, he seemed more alive than ever. He burned with new purpose to slay the worm and avenge Grete. I became his pawn of my own will. I too saw in this a new calling, to love him, serve him, and lend him strength, ultimately to become as him. It was a fate I welcomed gladly. Defeat me or speak your wish and offer up a sacrifice. A second time I heard the dragon's bargain spoke. Yet I felt a strange reluctance in its tone, as if the ultimatum were given unwilling. And in that moment, I knew it. The worm we now faced was my former master transformed. The revelation tore him apart. Whichever his choice, the wages were cruel tragedy. A new and dark desire poured forth from his sundered soul. His wish for power to destroy all existence marked me for death. And yet I never blamed him. For as my life was snuffed out, I held firm to my belief. The day would come, I knew, when he, our master, and I myself would find redemption.
Still a child, I stood amid the ashes of my village. Through the driving rains, two figures came. One, a woman of golden hair, extended me her hand, perhaps in pity. Grete was the name she gave. A hunter of sorts, she said. Her quarry, the worm. As she spoke, the woman at her side simply stood and watched me, wordless. She was a pawn, come of a different world, the first I had seen. Her air was strange, yet somehow alluring. I chose to join them, this arisen and her pawn. It seemed that, or stand forever in the ruins of a lost life. They offered no words of invitation, yet neither did they turn me away as I followed. As we traveled, I was taught to fight. Grete was my mentor, my mother. She breathed new life into my parched soul. Then came the day the huntress found her mark. She left to face the worm. That day's parting proved final. Her pawn returned, alone and scarce alive. Gone was the bold and faithful Myrmidon who had served as Greta's steel. Her empty eyes stared through me now. And what of the worm? Had our mistress felled the beast and stayed calamity? The pawn held no answers. Her mind and soul as broken as her body. Yet no more of the earth was swallowed up. No more was the sky stained black. It seemed the world had been ransomed. Or left, at least, to fester in the custody of humankind. I was left with a single hope, a single wish. To bring back light to the deadened eyes of a masterless Myrmidon. She was a pawn, I knew it well. Not human, not of this land. And what of it? She bore Greta's mien, her face. Real or nil, I soon found myself in love.
To know the unknown, that was my dream. To walk new frontiers and ancient halls alike, and to see all that this world holds. I was prepared to overcome any obstacle that barred my wandering. And so, when the dragon plucked the heart from my breast, I knew only joy. With new power and ageless life, I was free. I knew no greater treasure than freedom, no higher virtue, and yet, what drove me then to take him with me? What ought have seemed a fetter became my greatest joy, my greatest love. And now, I haven't even the freedom of my own will. I followed the Arisen's path, past the worm into the halls of the World Steward. And there, my path ended. In defeat, I was remade a dragon. From the moment I donned a dragon's skin, I was controlled by a single driving urge. To serve the Seneschal. This one thought consumed me, its pull inexorable. It was a hunger, an instinctual need. I burned for one who would defeat me, who would succeed where I had fallen. I craved the new Arisen. It is man's will that animates him. Can a being devoid of will truly be said to live? Am I alive, as I am now? The will that drives this cursed form to seek the Arisen is not my own. My will, my love, and all I am is crushed beneath its weight. Its force does not allow me even the luxury of regret. I am near drunk with it, though I war against it still with every shred of what once I was. In my final act, as a thinking being, I chose him for my destroyer. The question fell from my lips unbidden. What is your choice? Were it his wish, I would welcome death at his hands. Nay, I desired it. But his wavering gave voice to a new wish. That the world, its gods, and he himself be damned. My rule was set, my actions bound. I existed in that moment solely to give his wishes form. And so I did. I answered his desire, his cry of despair. And his love, my former shadow, was the price. My dreams have died unfulfilled, though I have neither the means to change that fact, nor the free will to mourn them. Perhaps what has transpired will serve some greater use. Let it be as a wedge struck into the chains that bind our endless, hollow world, that those to follow may shatter them. I failed in my quest to explore the unknown, but if it serves some use in ending this cruel cycle, I can believe my life held meaning.
in memory of Grete, silent-hearted, dragon-forged, with hair of gold and will of tempered steel. You ransomed me from a village burnt to ash, instilled life and fight. Dearest mentor, I commend you now to rest eternal. Your servant, bereft of master and memory, I keep now at my side. She lives on, your mirror in soul and body both, and I will not lose her as we have lost you. This I swear before your empty grave.
Now choose. Stand against me, or speak your wish. Offer your beloved in forfeit, and I shall see your will done.
Choose? How am I to choose? No matter my answer, the price is death. A hollow choice. Who am I to stand as arbiter of two lives? What would you have me do? You brought me here. If this be the will of the gods, the order of the world, then damn the lot of them!
I'll tear the whole of it asunder!
Very well. If that be your wish, I shall claim my price.
Stop! No! You have been chosen. So saying, the worm prized the heart from my breast. I was made arisen, known to the dragon, and bound to hunt it. It is a fate I embrace. What use have I for a heart left hollow? In a world without sweet Grete? My mentor, my mother, my beloved. I live only to see the dragon that claimed her slain. I will see its scaly hide stripped from bone by my hands ere I rest. Arisen, bearer of the dragon's mark, undying corpse, enjoined to make your will manifest. If my voice reaches you, heed me well. The arisen, the seneschal, the whole cursed world, all is but an illusion. A meaningless refrain, a hollow echo. What sense is there in giving one's life for these falsehoods? I damn them all, and I will not cease in my destruction until the last senseless cycle is broken, the last bond rent to dust.
Alright, so that was literally everything. And some foreshadowing that will be happening next. But basically, yeah. The whole point of this is that this has happened before again and again and again. What happened here was 100 lifetimes over. I don't know how long a lifetime is, but I imagine it's at least 1,000 years. Or bigger than 10. But the point is, it's been happening way too long. You, in theory, will not be the last person this ever happens to. And the fact that we're getting a sequel is either going to show what happens in the past, or hopefully in the future. Everything about this place is very, very sad, but also a bit hopeful. Because it gives more context to a choice we'll make by the end of everything here. And again, you never get the answer what the whole point of an Arisen is. The whole beginning cutscene of the game was talking about the joys of a useless occupation. Because as time goes on, and the more things you've done in the game, bandits, monsters, royalty, winning the affections of people all around, what was the whole point? What was your job? They say your job's to kill the dragon, but then there's more after that. There is this vicious cycle happening for what is apparently no good reason. A reason that is never explained to you. No matter how powerful you get, you can't change anything. No matter how strong or how wise you get or how much you do know, you still come up short here. Being an Arisen seems more of a curse than an actual blessing. Because, again, what is the whole purpose of doing all this? There is no significance that seems to have any meaningful bearing. We come in, we exist, we do amazing things. Some of us fade away, like Celine's master. Others meet tragic ends, like Grete and Ulra and Damien. But what was the point? What was the whole point of this? And that's all this game asks you. It's not being philosophical, it's not... well, maybe it is being philosophical in certain ways, but it's not trying to trick you. The more you play, the deeper you go, the more you realize, yeah, I'm the hero, or I'm the Arisen, but what is my point? Killing the dragon solved nothing. In fact, it made things worse. Becoming more powerful solved nothing, because I learned nothing, except mastery of my own craft and warfare. Heck, you have 2 Arisens right now who don't even know the point of being an Arisen. And one's been around forever, for whatever reason, and the other one is still around, mainly before us, and she doesn't have an idea, no matter how she ponders it. So, yeah. What is the point? And if anyone's asking, please, put in the comments, what do you think the Arisen's job is? Because as much as I've played this game, and when people ask me, oh, well, what's the whole point of what being an Arisen's about? I would never know. I've had friends and acquaintances who play this game have some small discussions about why things even happen the way they do, and why us. And how there's a theory about how Grigori, the dragon we killed to save Celine, or whoever your beloved is, I've played this game too much, so it could have been anyone at this point, how it works. So, if you're watching, please, what do you think the point of the Arisen is? We're getting a sequel, so clearly something is trying to be achieved on a grand scale that we don't know. But that's it for today, overall. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I did the readings justice, and I'll see you in the next video.